Hey, what's up, fellow onion heads? So today we're talking about the history of onion rings. I felt like it was necessary to make this video because there's only one other video talking about the history of onion rings on this platform, and it has really strong sexual overtones, and so that made me uncomfortable because who is looking at onion rings and going, oh yeah, that looks sexy. Oh. So anyways, we're talking about the history of onion rings. One thing that I learned while making this video is that no one knows anything about onion rings. Like, they're a mystery, basically. There are a couple recipes, but for the most part, we don't actually know that much about them. And there are not any reliable sources, quote unquote, meaning that we're going to be looking at Wikipedia. One thing I find incredible about the Wikipedia article for onion rings is that it is so short, because if you look at anything else, like, it's 12 pages long, but onion rings get, half a page or whatever, so that's what we're working with. It's pretty much generally agreed upon that the first onion ring recipe came from the book from 1802 called The Art of Cookery Made Easy and Refined by a guy named John Mollard. So John Mollard was born before cameras, and so we don't have any pictures of him. So here are some pictures of guys who are also named John Mollard, who are not him, but who share his name. So this book has recipes for things like mock turtle of calf's head, not to be confused with real turtle, and also a neat dish of veggies. One thing that's interesting to me is that this book is actually British, because onion rings seem like an American thing, you just take something and deep fry it. But no, it was a Brit who invented it. So fortunately, I brought John Mollard back to life so he can read it for us. So take it away, John.
Fried onions with Parmesan cheese. Pare 6 large mild onions and cut them into round slices of ½ an inch thick. Then make a batter with flour, half a gill of cream, a little pepper, salt, and 3 eggs. Beat up for 10 minutes, after which add 1/4 pound of Parmesan cheese, grated fine and mixed well together, to which add the onions. Have ready the boiling lard, and then take the slices of onions out of the batter with a fork singly, and fry them gently till done and of a nice brown color. Drain them dry and serve them up placed round each other. Melted butter with a little mustard in it to be served in a sauce boat.
Thank you, John. That was beautiful. Now, back to the grave with you. So I actually found a video of some guy who made this recipe, this exact recipe, fried onions with Parmesan cheese. So he says that they're really good, so I believe him. I don't really care to fry up some onions in lard myself, but I believe him. After that 1802 recipe, I can't really find anything about onion rings until 1908, wherein a recipe was published in the newspaper the Fort Wayne Sentinel. I thought that a Sentinel was this, but it turns out it's actually this. No one's calling them onion rings, it seems like. They just call them French fried or fried. This recipe just says, peel onions, cut in 1/4 inch slices, and separate into rings, dip into milk, drain and dip in flour. Fry in deep fat, drain, and sprinkle with salt. So it's pretty straightforward. It's literally 3 lines. If you're wondering where I'm getting my information from, this is directly from the most trusted source, berrypopic.com, because this is the kind of thing we're working with. Onion rings are not a well-studied phenomenon, unfortunately. After that, it looks like there's a recipe in 1910 for French fried onions also, and there's another one from 1910 as well. There is a restaurant chain called The Pig Stand, which is from Oak Cliff, Texas, and apparently these guys claim to be the inventor of onion rings and said that they invented them in the 1920s, but there are a lot of places, it seems, that claim to have invented them. But of course, we know that talking to John Mollard, he was the one who invented them. There is a Crisco ad from 1933 that features onion rings, actually. So I don't know if you can see it because this is kind of low quality image, so we're gonna zoom in a bit, okay? Enhance, 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 enhance. As you can see, there are some onion rings in the corner. It appears that frying stuff in lard has grown less popular since John Mollard's day, so we're now frying stuff in Crisco apparently. Then it looks like in the 1960s, A&W helped make onion rings popular, and they kind of turned them into a fast food side dish. Some of the earlier recipes say that you should serve onion rings with steak, which sounds pretty good to me, but here it looks like there's a turn, and so they've become fast food stuff instead of fancy gourmet dining. If you're wondering where I got that fact about A&W from, I found this article called A&W restaurants are credited with popularizing onion rings in fast food restaurants during the 1960s. And whenever you try to read the article to see if there's any more information about it, it's just a bunch of random fun facts and there's nothing to it. Like I said, there is no onion ring scholarship, unfortunately. I am personally willing to bankroll any studies into onion rings that we can get, but that's neither here nor there. So, as we all know, onion rings are pretty cool, and they're pretty widespread at this point. You can't get them in every single place, but you can still get them in a lot of different fast food chains, so that's a win for me. There are different kinds of onion rings. There are the battered kind where you just dip it in the batter and then fry it, and so that seems like the sort of original onion ring recipe. Then there are also the kind that are crumbed, like they're just rubbed with breadcrumbs or something, I don't know. Both are good. It's worth noting that there are not one, but 2 onion-related holidays in June. June 22nd is National Onion Ring Day, and then June 27th is National Onion Day. I don't know what psychos are just making these holidays up, but these get a pass from me actually, because I love onions and onion rings. So let's talk a little bit about the legacy of onion rings. As I've said, no one really studies onion rings, which is a shame, but this came up when I was trying to look up books about onion rings on Amazon. Just a Girl Who Loves Onion Rings, Cool Onion Rings Journal for Girls, Women, Teenagers, Kids, Perfect Birthday Gift Ideas for Onion Rings Lovers, Blank Lined Onion Rings Notebook Diary, paperback. If you've ever wanted a blank journal that says Just a Girl Who Loves Onion Rings on the cover, here it is. Mom, Dad, I want one of these for my birthday and for Christmas, because let's face it, I'm gonna go through the first one by the time it's winter. Then, if you're less of a writer and more of an artist, you can get Just a Girl Who Loves Onion Rings sketchbook, blank drawing, sketching paper for drawing, sketching, and notes, cute onion ring lovers sketchbook for Valentine's Day gift, 6 by 9 inches, 110 pages. Apparently the author of this sketchbook is Amelia Onion Publishing, which if I had a publishing company, that's what I would call it too. So after all this, what have we learned about onion rings? Not much, quite frankly. Like I said, there is not anything about them. It makes me sad because I love them with all my heart, but it appears that onion rings are kind of forgotten by most people, and that makes me sad. Makes me want to cry. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to onionscribe, onion like the video, and onion comment down below. Onion.